Texas Tech is set to host the best power forward in the 2026 class. Who is it? We'll discuss that detailed scouting report as well as multiple Texas Tech connections for this five-star prospect. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And hey, some of y'all been asking, does this team and this coaching staff like to scout high school players? Well, hey, they're very, particular about who they go after. They have to have connections in terms of maybe previous stops. And the guy we're going to talk about in today's video has multiple in terms of Tech connections. So this should be a good one. And this visit is coming up quick. It is going to start the weekend of April 18th. So let's just jump right into this. And this is from Joe Tipton of On3. You can see it on your screen right there. 5-star, and I hope I get his name right. I've heard it twice, so I hope I get it right. 5-star Miikka Muurinen, a top 10 recruit in the 2026 class, will take an official visit to Texas Tech next weekend, he tells On3 recruits. The 6'10 junior is the number one ranked power forward in the class, according to On3. Now, we'll go ahead and look over on 247 as well. You can see it on your screen right there. He's a top 10 prospect in all, this is wild, in the 2026 class, okay? Crazy story, too. Apparently, he was unranked as soon as 18 months ago, and now here he is. Obviously, a native of Finland and, Texas Tech. They have a couple of Finnish guys on their roster last year, most notably Fedi 2 times, Federico, and Ameli Yalaho, who actually just entered the portal. Ameli Yalaho did. So they also are represented by the same guy, which is very interesting in all of this because you look at it and the agent's name is Teddy Archer. So you look at that, and I shouldn't call him an agent. Maybe he is an agent, but they're represented by him. Okay, you can see some of the schools that are going after Miikka right there. Kentucky, Arkansas, Michigan, Utah, Alabama. What's interesting, though, as I get back on the screen here, Texas Tech was his second offer from a college basketball, just a college basketball scholarship offer. So kind of full circle here. Now, we'll look a little bit more in terms of what other sites have to say about him in a second. But when it comes to his scouting report, I know this is a cop-out. I really, really do. But I watch him on film, and he just screams of his countrymen. And that's Lauri Markkanen. Okay, for those that don't know, Lauri Markkanen was an absolute just bona fide star down at Arizona. He went in the lottery to, now on to a multi-million-dollar contract, a supermax with the Utah Jazz, and an all-star, okay? He reminds me of him. Now, I will say that Miikka is a little bit more raw than him, but he has the similar skill set, right? He can shoot from the outside. He can beat you off the dribble. He's an impactful guy when it comes to protecting the painted area and being a shot blocker. He's multifaceted in that regard. And I can't help but think, watching his highlights, and I'll have the highlights down in the description below so you can go and watch them after you watch this video, he's an instant guy where it's like, oh, yeah, he's in the conversation for Big 12 Freshman of the Year if he were to come to Texas Tech. Now, the interesting connection to the Texas Tech coaching staff is this. AC was a coach at Sunrise Christian, okay? That's where Miikka started his high school career. He now plays at Arizona Compass, okay? And Texas Tech has some connections to Arizona Compass as well. But that's the lead recruiter for Texas Tech is Coach AC, which is phenomenal because he has been a director of recruiting in the past at Grand Canyon. He is a guy that is very strategic in terms of the guys that he goes after in the high school ranks. And really the staff is in general. You think about some of the guys that Texas Tech missed on in this past high school class, the Toomses of the world who ended up at SMU. You've got the Kingston Flemings of the world down at Houston. You've got Sheldon Henderson, who ended up at Duke, right? They went after high-level guys. That's what they do. And this guy fits the bill in that regard. We'll move on over and we'll look at the ESPN side of things as well, which I typically don't look at ESPN recruiting, but they're typically pretty good when it comes to high school hoops. He is the 4th overall player in their 2026 class. Now, we'll talk about something here in just a second about him in terms of how I think this ties into Texas Tech's roster in the 2025-2026 season. But you see he's a top 5 player there, right? You move on over and you look at some of these names in terms of where he's at, right? In the sense of, we'll go look at rivals as well. You can see it on your screen. You don't really have any rankings or anything like that outside of, hey, he's a 5-star. You can see it on your screen right there in the 6 nationally, because obviously the state aspect and the position, but you see the national side right there, a top 10 player in the class, just as Joe Tipton, initial tweet on your screen now, said, right? He is a top 10 player in the 2026 class, and he will take his official visit to Texas Tech next weekend, the weekend of April 18th through the 20th. This is massive for Texas Tech. Again, he has the same agent as Fetty and Yalaho, right? That's obviously impactful there. He's obviously Finnish, so they know each other well in that regard. But I do want to say this, and this is me speculating, right? Because in the modern era of college basketball, you see this quite a bit. I mean, prime example is Cooper Flagg, and by no means am I, projecting this kind of expectation onto him. It's just the example. Give me a second to get there to the point. But Cooper Flagg is the perfect example of this. Cooper Flagg reclassified. Cooper Flagg was supposed to be a senior in high school this year. The timing of this visit, I don't think can go, in terms of uncrypted type stuff here. Like, it's interesting to me in the sense that could he reclassify and be on the Texas Tech roster in 2025 and 2026? I think it's a possibility. Is it a firm confirmation? Obviously not. Obviously not. No one's going to know until that actually happens. But there is a lot of dots that are connecting here in the sense of, okay, he has this connection to Texas Tech as well as this connection to Texas Tech and then this connection to Texas Tech. There's a lot going on here. But in terms of the talent, it's hard not to fantasize a front court where you have JT Toppin and Mika. They're just really spacing the hell out of the floor, right? You can put Mika out on the perimeter. He can beat you off the dribble. He's a good screener as well. Obviously a solid defender. You saw his height there on the screen, 6'10", right? 185. He's going to have to bulk up a little bit, but who isn't going into college, right? And the freshman 15 is real. It hit me for sure. But when it comes down to it, this is what Texas Tech is going to do when it comes to high school recruiting. They're going to go after high guys in terms of rankings and guys that they are fond of in terms of skill set that they think fit what they are doing at that current time in terms of roster construction. And he fits the mold here. I don't think you can look outside of it and say, okay, Yalahu's going to the portal. Yes, it's a connection to his fellow Finnish center, but does that open a potential spot in a reclassification? Is that the reason Texas Tech hasn't been linked to very many bigs in the portal, right? I'm obviously speculating here, but I think it's worth it in this regard in the modern era of college basketball where guys reclassify, as much as really all of us breathe, it feels like, okay? This is a guy to monitor for sure and a guy that would be a really big-time player to add to this roster. Now, he's going to have to go through the visit just like everybody else and go through basically the quote-unquote screening process. And if the character is there, the talent's obviously there, and Texas Tech will make a push, right? That's what we'll see here. Obviously, he has a choice to go elsewhere, but I think the timing is very interesting. The connections are very interesting, and obviously the skill set and the talent are very, very interesting. As we get it back on your screen, Joe Tipton of On3, as you can see, says that 5-star Miikka Muurinen, a top 10 recruit in the 2026 class, will take an official visit to Texas Tech next weekend. He tells On3 recruits the 6'10 junior is the number 1 ranked power forward in the class. I mean, that's big-time news for Texas Tech. At the time of you hearing this, Texas Tech is already going through a major portal weekend with the likes of Lawan Watts. You've got Donovan Atwell. You've got, Isaiah Pasha coming in. You've got already a Texas Tech commit in Tyrese Bryan on campus as well. Now, next weekend, they will be going after one of the best in the class of 2026 and finish forward from Arizona Compass High School in Miikka Muurinen. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I heard it twice, like I said, but I'm pretty confident. Hopefully I'm right. Fingers crossed. But this is a big one, people, and I think that this is one to monitor heavily just because the timing of it. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We're on our journey to 12,000 subs. So if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell for 100% free Texas Tech men's basketball and football content all year long right here on the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel. As always, I'm RC Maxfield reminding you to stay safe in Wreck 'em Tech.